You know what's funny? There are people who don't even try, like zero effort, not even pretending, and somehow everybody is just looking at them, not staring in a weird way, but like your brain just keeps checking them. And it's annoying sometimes because you're like, bro, what did you do? Because you're trying to figure it out logically. You're scanning them like, maybe it's the clothes, maybe it's their face, maybe it's confidence, maybe they're rich, maybe they trained for this moment, but nothing adds up. They didn't flex, they didn't announce themselves, they didn't even do that fake confident walk thing people rehearse in the mirror. They just exist, and people notice. And here's the part that messes with your head. It's not always the best-looking person. Let's be honest. You've seen it. The room's most attractive person isn't always the one everyone is looking at. Sometimes it's the quiet one in the corner. Sometimes it's the one who didn't even speak yet. And that's where your brain starts glitching a little. Because we were taught attraction is about effort. Try harder, dress better, speak smoother, smile right, stand straight. Don't be awkward. Be that guy. But then reality shows you something completely different. The people getting the attention aren't always trying, and the people trying are sometimes the ones feeling invisible. Yeah, that part hits a bit. Let's not lie. We've all had that moment. You walk into a place, maybe a school, maybe work, maybe a gathering, and you tell yourself, all right, today I'm gonna be confident. You fix your shirt. You adjust your posture. You rehearse a few lines in your head like you're about to enter a movie scene. You even do that thing where you breathe differently for no reason, and then you enter. And suddenly, nothing. No spotlight. No magical background music. Just you. Standing there, very aware of your hands for no reason. And then you start doing the worst thing possible. You start thinking about how you look while you're standing. That's when it gets weird. Because now you're not even in the moment anymore. You're watching yourself in the moment, and that's where most people lose their natural presence. But then, on the other side of the room, there's someone who is just sitting there like it's nothing, not trying to impress anyone, not adjusting themselves every 3 seconds, not performing confidence like it's a job interview, and people are just naturally drawn there. Not because they're loud, not because they're showing off, not because they're doing anything special, but because something about them feels easy, unforced, relaxed in a way most people can't fake. And that's the part nobody really explains properly. Because it's not about being confident. That word is too vague now. Everyone says it. Nobody knows what it actually means anymore. It's deeper than that. It's about habits. Tiny, silent behaviors you don't even realize you're doing, that either pull people toward you, or quietly push them away without you noticing. And that's what this video is really about. Not tricks, not manipulation, not fake personality shifts, just 11 silent habits that make someone naturally attractive without trying. And when I say naturally attractive, I don't just mean looks. I mean that thing where someone enters a space and people just register them, not because they demanded attention, but because attention just kind of lands there. And I promise you, some of these habits are so subtle that when you hear them, you'll probably sit there like, wait a minute, because you've seen this before. You've felt it before. You've probably even been on both sides of it. And the funniest part? Once you understand it, you'll start noticing it everywhere, at work, at school, in conversations, even in silence. You'll start seeing who has it, and who is trying to fake it. And let me warn you early, some of these habits are not what you expect, because we're not talking about talking more, being louder, acting confident, or forcing charisma. No, some of the most attractive behaviors are actually the opposite. They're quiet, almost invisible, which is exactly why most people miss them. And number 11, I'm telling you right now, that one is unfair, like genuinely unfair, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you'll start noticing why certain people never seem to struggle socially, even when they're doing absolutely nothing special. All right, now let's get into it. 1. They don't move like they're late for life. Some people walk like life gave them a 3-minute timer. Fast steps, fast talking, fast everything. Even when nothing is happening. And you can literally feel the anxiety walking before the person even speaks. But the naturally attractive people, they move like, yeah, I exist. I'm not rushing anything. Even when they're late, they still look calm. Meanwhile you're inside like, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. But externally, you're still trying to look composed, like a secret agent. People feel that difference instantly. Calm movement. Now magnetic energy. Rushed movement. This person is stressed. Stay back. 2. They don't try to impress, and it's annoying how well it works. You know those people who are not even trying to be impressive, and somehow they become impressive? Painful. Because you're there adjusting your tone, choosing your words carefully, trying to look put together, and this guy is just existing like, yeah, I just woke up, life is good. And people are like, wow, he's so real. Bro, what? That's when you realize trying too hard is actually loud, even when you're quiet. They don't force conversations. This one is funny. Some people treat conversations like it's a broken radio. No, don't go silent. Please, I can fix this topic. But attractive people, if the vibe dies, it dies. No panic, no emergency storytelling, no so anyway. They just let silence sit there like, cool. And weirdly enough, that makes people come back into the conversation on their own, because nothing feels forced. And humans hate forced energy. 4. They are comfortable doing nothing. This one is underrated. Most people cannot just sit and exist. They need phone, talking, laughing, noise, distraction. Anything silence feels like punishment. But naturally attractive people, they can just sit there like, yeah, I'm good. No tension, no awkward energy, nothing. And when someone can do that, it messes with people's head a little, because it signals this person is okay with themselves. And that hits deeper than confidence poses. Let's be honest for a second. Some of us cannot even sit in silence without grabbing our phone like it owes us money. Be honest. 5. They don't explain themselves too much. You ever meet someone who explains everything? Like, yeah, I didn't reply because I was eating. Then I got tired. Then I opened my phone. Then I saw your message. Then I thought maybe I should reply. But I was thinking, bro, relax. Meanwhile, naturally attractive people, they just say, yeah, I was busy. That's it. No 4-season documentary, no emotional report. And the funny thing is, the less they explain, the more people respect their words. Because over-explaining makes your presence feel shaky. And shaky energy, people feel it immediately. 6. They don't chase attention in groups. You know that one person in a group who is always adding something even when nothing is needed. Like someone says, wow, it's raining. And they jump in. Yeah, but last week it rained more actually. Bro, why naturally attractive people don't do that? They don't compete for space in conversations. They just appear when it matters. And when they speak, people listen. Because their words are not constant noise, they are intentional moments. 7. They don't panic when things get quiet. This one exposes a lot of people. Silence hits, and suddenly people start laughing randomly, checking phone, talking about anything. Even nonsense like, so weather today, huh? Just to kill the silence. But the naturally attractive person, they just sit there like, no stress, no urgency. And the funny part? That calm silence actually makes other people a little nervous, in a good way, because now they feel the need to fill the space. and whoever controls comfort in silence controls the room. 8. They don't react emotionally to everything. Not everything gets a reaction. Someone says something small and offensive, they don't explode. Someone jokes, they don't overlaugh like it's comedy awards night. They stay balanced. And that balance is what confuses people in a good way, because most people are emotional mirrors, reacting instantly to everything. But the calm person, they feel like they're choosing when to respond, and that feels powerful without them trying. Let's be honest. Some of us react to everything. Even a K text message can ruin your mood for 2 hours. It's okay. We're learning. 9. They don't compete socially. This one is subtle but very real. Some people turn life into competition without realizing it. Who suffered more? Who is smarter? Who has better story? Who is right, but naturally attractive people? They don't play that game. If you win, cool. If you talk, cool. If you shine, cool. They're not fighting for ranking in conversations, and because of that, people feel safe around them, and safe energy. Attractive energy. 10. They don't perform personality. This is where a lot of people get exposed. Some people switch personalities depending on who they're with, where they are, what they think is cool. So they're basically different versions of themselves everywhere, but naturally attractive people. Same vibe everywhere. No performance, no switching characters, just consistency. And humans trust consistency more than charm, because charm can be fake, but consistency feels real. 11. They don't feel the need to be noticed. This one is the real one. Most people deep down are thinking, hope they see me, hope I'm interesting, hope I don't look awkward. But naturally attractive people, they are not trying to be noticed, they're just present. And that absence of neediness is what creates attention. It's ironic. The less you chase being seen, the more people see you. And this is something thinkers like Carl Jung touched around in different ways. The idea that when you stop performing for external validation and start becoming internally grounded, your presence changes completely. Not louder, just more real, and real presence. Stands out without effort. And let me just say this to you like we're actually sitting in the same room right now. None of this is about becoming someone new. It's about dropping the habits that make you feel watched all the time. Because the truth is, you already have moments where people feel you naturally. You just don't notice them because you're too busy judging yourself in your head. And if you take anything from this video, let it be this. You don't need more personality. You need less tension. And before we end this properly, if you enjoyed this video, and it made you smile, think, or even laugh a little, I just want to say something real to you for a second. Thank you for being here. Seriously. Because in a world where everyone is rushing to the next thing, you stopped here long enough to actually reflect on something deeper, and that already says something about you, and before anything else. Support me with a coffee if you enjoyed this video. No pressure at all, no expectations, just love and appreciation. Because honestly, it helps more than you think. It keeps this space alive. It keeps these kinds of conversations going, and it allows me to keep showing up and creating videos like this for you. So, yeah. Thank you in advance, even if you don't. Just being here is enough. And now, before you leave, let's slow this down for a moment, because this whole video wasn't really about attraction. Not really. It looked like it, but it wasn't. It was about presence, about the quiet way people carry themselves without even realizing it. Because when you really think about it, the most attractive people in the world aren't doing anything special on the surface. They're not performing. They're not forcing themselves into spaces. They're not constantly trying to be noticed. They're just not interfering with who they already are. And that line is important, because most people don't realize how much they interfere with themselves. They overthink how they're standing. They overthink how they're talking. They overthink how they're being perceived. And slowly, without noticing it, they step out of their natural presence, and that's when everything starts feeling forced. But the interesting part is, you've probably already seen glimpses of what we talked about today, maybe in someone you know, maybe in a stranger you couldn't explain, or maybe, even in yourself, at random moments, like those rare times when you weren't trying to be anything. You were just there, and things felt easier. People responded differently, not because you changed, but because you stopped resisting yourself for a moment. And that's really what this is about. Not becoming someone else, but removing the noise that makes you forget who you already are. And now, just for a second, I want you to think about something simple. No pressure, no overthinking, just honest reflection. When was the last time you were fully yourself, without trying to manage how you were being seen? No performance, no adjustment, no second-guessing every move. Just you. Because that version of you, that's the version people actually feel, not the edited one, not the controlled one, not the overthought version, the real one. And maybe that's the quiet message in all of this. That attraction, real attraction, isn't about becoming louder. It's not about becoming more impressive. It's about becoming less blocked, less tense, less performative, less disconnected from yourself, and more present, more aware, more natural, more real. And before you leave, if this kind of content speaks to you, just hit subscribe, because here we don't just talk about surface-level ideas. We talk about the psychology behind presence, attraction, behavior, and the quiet things people feel but rarely explain. And if you've made it this far, you're probably already the kind of person who notices things most people miss. So yeah, you'll fit right in here, and I'll see you in the next one.